One day, what happened to be the day before Halloween, all the monsters in the underground world of Zion were on their way to school. All except for two monsters who didn't want to go. Mom, do we have to go to school? Yes, Steve. You have a really big test in math. Fine, said Bob. So Steve and Bob got up, showing their full bodies with a tall black trunk and a large round egg-shaped head with multicolored fibers sticking out of their heads for stability. After walking outside, since Steve and Bob don't have legs, they use an adaptation they have evolved into. They released hot air out of their bodies and into their heads and started to float 1 foot off the ground. Might as well start floating, said Miss Clifford. Is going to kill us if we're late. So so Steve and Bob started to float off their way to school. Along the way, Bob said, "Do you think that Mom knows the reason we don't want to go to school is because we're getting bullied?" "I don't know," said Steve. "It's unfair just because we look different from all the other kids from Zion doesn't mean we should get made fun of," said Bob. Then right at that moment, Bob and Steve stopped floating when they saw them. Bob and Steve knew all too well that Clob and Snob were the ringleaders of all the bullying. Right before Bob was about to say something, Steve put one of his fibers to his lips, telling Bob to be quiet. Then Steve used his special power to talk to Bob in his own head. "We have to get out of here," said Bob. "We can't," said Steve. "We're going to be late." So Steve and Bob tried to float as quietly as they could all the way to school to avoid being spotted. After getting to school, they did the thing they normally do to avoid bullies. They snuck around back and entered through the back door. After getting into the school, they zigzagged like snakes between the doors as to not get spotted. When they finally reached the safe haven of the couple's room, a place where they could not get bullied without bullies getting in trouble, they quickly ran to the two seats in the front of the room, right next to Miss Clifford. The first four subjects before recess flew by without a catch. They had no problems with math, science, and ELA in the other block of ELA. After having the second block of ELA, Steve realized what they had next. "Bob, we have lunch at recess." "Oh no," said Bob, "that's when the bullies are the worst." After having lunch without any bullying, they had to go out for recess. No way out, they had to go. After getting out, they did the only thing After getting out without being spotted, they got pounced on by Clob and Snob. "Hey," said Snob, "where do you think you're going? We just want to get out of here and search our bodies, that's all." Then Steve talked to Bob inside his mind. "Steve, I'll get a teacher if you hold them off." "Sounds like a plan." So Bob started to float like a bird on steroids, and Steve floated to Miss Clifford. Miss Clifford, Clob and Snob are bullying us again." "All right," said Miss Clifford. Then all of a sudden, Miss Clifford screamed, "Clob and Snob, come here right this instant." The Clob and Snob ran over and said, "This is the last time I'm going to do this. Next time I see you bullying another kid, there will be major consequences." "Yes, Miss Clifford," said the two boys. "Now ring along." And Miss Clifford, "I don't think they'll bother you anymore." "Finally," said Steve, "recess with peace."